What is up, everybody? RandomRandomMan here, bringing you not a movie review this time, but a very special video recounting what I think of this year's Academy Award nominations. Yes, it is Oscar season. It is already in full swing, as the ceremony is tonight, in fact. I am filming this video the day of, and I am just super excited to see what films from last year, 2014, will go home with the coveted golden statues and be thoroughly awarded with high praise. I am just very excited. Now, before I begin this video, I like to preface that I have seen two Best Picture nominees recently, but haven't gotten the time to do formal reviews for. Those being The Grand Budapest Hotel and The Theory of Everything. So, I would like to give my brief thoughts on those films before I begin the rest of the video. So, for The Grand Budapest Hotel, this is a zany and utterly hilarious film. Every frame is just an artsy painting, and I just love it. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now, for The Theory of Everything, terrific lead performances elevate this uplifting scientific romance about hope. I also give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. So, without further ado, let's run down my predictions and preferences for the 2015 Oscars. Kicking off this rundown is my thoughts on the Best Animated Feature category. Now, looking at my notes over here, this is an easy contest. Says, wait, whoa. Hold on a second. Am I reading this right? Maybe 6, the box shows how to treat your dragon 2, Song in the Sea, the tale of the Princess Kaguya. Well, there seems to be a very big snub in this category. They had the nerve to not nominate this movie. What the f***? I'm sorry, I had to do that. But why? Why wasn't the Lego Movie nominated? This is such a huge snub. First off, I own this movie. I mean, this is a clear indication of my love for one of the best animated movies in recent memory for me. This was my favorite of last year. Second, this was such a shoo-in to win the Oscar. This was the clear frontrunner, but nope. They just gotta make people mad like myself. I mean, I'm angry. I am really angry. I mean, let this not be very comedic in, retrospect for those watching this video, but I am angry. I mean, look at this face. And look at these faces. Look at Emmett and company. They know they're not gonna win. They know they're not nominated, so look at that. They are very upset. That's a pretty cool double-decker couch, by the way. But anyway, of those that are nominated, that mini rant was just a little stupid, apparently. But of those that are nominated, I've only seen one other animated feature, that being Big Hero 6. And I also love this movie. Back when it came out, I reviewed it, and I clearly gave it a overwhelmingly positive review. And, of course, I am a fan. See, I own this thing. I wouldn't own this adorable thing if I didn't love the movie. So, let's just leave it there. But that's not my pick for what will win the Oscar. What will win the Oscar is How to Train Your Dragon 2. Why? Well, not only did it get the Golden Globe, but also the Annie, which is the equivalent of the Oscar for Best Animated Feature, but in a award show that is just for animated movies. So I will say that film will win, even though I'm really shocked to say this myself too, but I haven't seen either one of those films. But I will hopefully catch them later on. But I will say that will win. So, the Lego Movie should win the Oscar. Okay. If you want me to go by the actual nominees, I will say that Big Hero 6 should win the Oscar, but How to Train Your Dragon 2 will win the Oscar. Up next is Best Animated Short. Now, I would like to also quickly mention that I'm only going over certain categories that I find notable in my eyes, including the major categories, but some of these categories also interest me because I want to become a filmmaker as well. So, Best Animated Short. Now, of these nominees, I've only seen one other film once again, and that is Feast. Now, for those of you that don't know or don't remember, Feast was a short film about a dog who likes human food. Well, it was played in front of Big Hero 6. Now, really quickly, I'm just going to say that should and will win. I mean, it's Disney once again, and I think the Academy has loved Disney in the past. So, Feast should win the Oscar, and will win the Oscar. Next is Best Original Song. Now, I am sort of happy if you can say that Everything is Awesome from the Lego Movie is nominated, but that's just utter bull because that's the only nomination it got, and that's not going to redeem the Academy for what injustice they have created just now, or should I say a month ago. But as much as I would love to see the Lego Movie win there, I would love to see Lost Stars from Begin Again win the Oscar here. I just think that it is an utterly unforgettable song. I have listened to it for months now, ever since I seen Begin Again. But I will say that Glory from Selma will win the Oscar, as that is the sole nomination for the film other than the biggest award of the night. So, Begin Again's Lost Stars should win the Oscar, but Selma's Glory will win the Oscar. Next is Best Visual Effects. Now, if you read off the nominees, this is such a perfect category. Every right movie is nominated here. But which film do I think should take the Oscar? Hands down, Interstellar. Nolan has created such a viscerally stunning movie that it just amazes me to know that barely any computer-generated graphics were used for this film, and it just seems very, very fitting for a movie like this to take the award. And I also think that it will win the Oscar, even though the other nominees do stand a very big chance to take it from Interstellar. So, Interstellar should win the Oscar and will win the Oscar. Next is one of the bigger categories, Best Supporting Actor. Now, I've seen a few of these nominees, so I have actually really enjoyed Ethan Hawke's turn in Boyhood and Edward Norton's also very comedic turn in Birdman. But this is hands down J.K. Simmons' award to win here. I just think that he was utterly menacing and utterly morally comprehensible when you think about his character if you've seen Whiplash. So he is hands down going to take it. He's a front runner all this time, and I just think that it'd be a crime if he didn't win. Although I won't be upset if certain other nominees here do take the Oscar, but that's not going to happen. So J.K. Simmons should win the Oscar and will win the Oscar. Next is another big category, Best Supporting Actress. Now, before I go on to this category, Academy, stop nominating Meryl Streep for everything she's in. Okay. And I have also seen only a few of these nominees as well. I just thought that Emma Stone gave the best performance she has ever given in Birdman, and Keira Knightley, like I said in my review for The Imitation Game, just had a fine year in 2014, and I think that her turn in The Imitation Game is also nomination worthy as well. But who will and should win this category? Hands down, just like Best Supporting Actor, Patricia Arquette in Boyhood. I just thought she portrayed a very strong single mother throughout the 12 years Boyhood had been filming, and the one monologue she does have at the end of Boyhood, which I won't spoil, is just hands down an Oscar moment right there, and does definitely warrant the nomination and the win. So, Patricia Arquette should win the Oscar and will win the Oscar. Next is Best Cinematography. Now, I did enjoy Robert Yeoman's very stunning camera work in the Grand Budapest Hotel, but this is also another obvious category here. Hands down, this will go to Emmanuel Lubezki for Birdman. I just thought the ambition to shoot this movie entirely in one take, or just to make it look like one take, is just such an accomplishable feat. Well, in Lubezki's eyes, I mean, he's just a master of his cinematography craft, that it does deserve another trophy for the second year in a row, surprisingly. This is going to be an unprecedented feat for this man, and I am just so happy for this guy, as he is one of my favorite cinematographers out there. So, Emmanuel Lubezki should win the Oscar and will win the Oscar. Next is Best Adapted Screenplay. Now, these nominees are also pretty good as well. I mean, I do think that Graham Moore for The Imitation Game will take the award, but I won't be upset if Anthony McCartan for The Theory of Everything also takes this award here. But what I think should win is Damien Chazelle's writing for Whiplash. Why? Well, it's a little weird that the Academy actually put this in Best Adapted Screenplay as opposed to Original, which I'll get to next, as the parameters for this award is that if it's based off of anything that had been previously made, it counts as adapted. And Damien Chazelle did base Whiplash off of the short film of the same name he directed years before. So, what do I think of this category? Well, Damien Chazelle should win the Oscar, but Graham Moore will win the Oscar. Up next is Best Original Screenplay. Now, this category is also pretty strong here as well, and I wouldn't be too upset if any one of these takes it. What do I think should win? Well, Alejandro Iñárritu and his three collaborators for Birdman should win. I think the screenplay is just among the best of last year, and it was just utterly hilarious and pretty smart in taking a stab at Hollywood for what they have done for franchises and just filmmaking in general within the context of a play. This is very, very nice writing right here, and this is what I hopefully want to accomplish when I write films, or if I write films in the future, which I hope will happen. But who do I think will win? Well, I think Wes Anderson and Hugo Guinness will take it because the zaniness of the film could not have been accomplished by a very artsy director, and just from writing that could have not been done other than him and his collaborator so well for a movie that I think is also very awarding of many things this year. So, Alejandro Iñárritu and company should win the Oscar, but Wes Anderson and Hugo Guinness will win the Oscar. Up next is Best Original Score. Now, I listened to some of these soundtracks before making this video, and I have to say that they're actually pretty good here. But who do I think should win the Oscar? Hands down, Hans Zimmer for Interstellar. I just think the way he implemented the organ and a bunch of other instruments for this space movie is just so euphoric and mesmerizing in retrospect. This is my favorite soundtrack of last year for original score. But who do I think will win? Well, Johan Johansson for The Theory of Everything. Once again, I've seen this movie recently, and I just think the score really fit this movie so well and how emotional it was for telling the story of Stephen and Jane Hawking. So, Hans Zimmer should win the Oscar, but Johan Johansson will win the Oscar. Up next is a big category right here. Best Director. Now, this is tough. This is one of the tougher categories that I've had to think about this year, and I think it is a two-person race right here. It is between Alejandro G. Iñárritu for Birdman and Richard Linklater for Boyhood. Who do I think should win? Well, in all honesty, either one of these guys could win and I wouldn't be upset, but I think Alejandro G. Iñárritu should win because his direction and just the way he makes Birdman look so great, even though it partially has to be done with cinematography, is just so accomplishable, lost for words here, for this movie. I think it is also his best film to date, and it just makes it for a very unique one as well, and the direction here will be studied for years in film school in my eyes for anything that should be done with film, and I just think that it's good. But Richard Linklater also did a very accomplishable feat for 12 years of filming. Think about that. 12 years of filming. That is very, very awarding of its own self. That is a very difficult feat to accomplish, and I just think that he will win for that. But I also think he should win in a way. But for what I have to say for this category, Alejandro G. Iñárritu should win the Oscar, but Richard Linklater will win the Oscar. Another big category here, Best Actress. Now, I have only seen 2 of these people nominated, or should I say women, excuse me. And I thought that Felicity Jones was just remarkable in The Theory of Everything, and Rosamund Pike was just stunning. Stunning in Gone Girl. Even though the nomination here is a definite spoiler, but I just think that she's the one that should win here for her very unique performance in that movie. And it's also the movie's only nomination here. I mean, what gives Academy? Come on. But although I haven't seen this film yet, Julianne Moore for Still Alice will win the Oscar. Why? This is her, count 'em, 5th nomination. And I think the Academy may feel that it's time to honor an actress who has to be given credit where credit is due for a very illustrious career. I think that she will win, and hopefully I will see Still Alice to further prove my point. So, Rosamund Pike should win the Oscar, but Julianne Moore will win the Oscar. Here we go. This is another big one right here. Best Actor. Before I get into this one again, Academy. Why did you not nominate Jake Gyllenhaal for Nightcrawler? He was just a different person in that movie. I loved his performance. I thought that other than some of these nominees, he gave the best lead acting performance of the year. And Nightcrawler was also one of my favorites of last year. Why wasn't it nominated for more stuff? It's only nominated for Best Original Screenplay. But I digress. Let me look at the nominees that we've gotten here. Now, I've seen every single one of these performances except for one. But I will say, Bradley Cooper gave the best performance of his life, in my opinion, in American Sniper, and it's definitely worth the nomination, but not the win. Not the win. I love this guy. He's just not going to win at this time. And Benedict Cumberbatch portrayed such a fascinating character in history in The Imitation Game, and I just think Alan Turing is a very remarkable man himself, and I just think it is just horrible what happened to him, and Benedict Cumberbatch is a true testament for what the man stood for creating the computer, essentially. But, once again, this is a two-person race between Michael Keaton for Birdman and Eddie Redmayne for The Theory of Everything. Who do I think should win? Either one of these guys could take it, don't get me wrong, and both of them will be very, very awarding of this category. But I think Michael Keaton for Birdman should win the Oscar because this is a comeback performance. Sometimes the Academy likes to see actors who have been out of the gate for a long time come back with a vengeance and take an Oscar for all that it's worth. And I think that this is Michael Keaton's best performance as well. So I think he should win the award for that. But once again, like I've mentioned in this video, I've recently seen The Theory of Everything, and Eddie Redmayne, you are going to win this award. Now, I want Michael Keaton to win, but Eddie Redmayne, he will win. I mean, the Academy has awarded the Best Actor Oscar to those who have played historical figures in history and have just done remarkable jobs doing it. Remarkable is my favorite word today. Eddie Redmayne with his physical performance, in tandem with Felicity Jones's emotional performance in The Theory of Everything, makes such a great team. But even if you look at both performances separately, Eddie Redmayne, phenomenal here. I just don't know how he contorted his body to actually act like Stephen Hawking. I just think he was just great in this role. Man, this is my favorite role of his by far. So, for this category, Michael Keaton should win the Oscar, but Eddie Redmayne will win the Oscar. Alright, everyone. This is the biggest category. The big one. The big kahuna. Best Picture. Now, I think I am pretty proud of myself for saying that I have seen every single Best Picture nominee this year. Except for one. Selma. It's not that I didn't want to see this movie, but it's only nominated for 2 Oscars. One of them it's going to win for sure, but the biggest one that it is nominated for, it has no chance. I will see this movie eventually, but for award season, I don't think it's going to win anything other than the Best Original Song category. And I will be upset if this wins Best Picture, because what gives Academy? Only 2 nominations and you didn't get it enough recognition that it deserved, supposedly? I just think that's utterly ridiculous. And the other nominee that I will be upset if it wins is American Sniper. Why? Well, I thought that this was a really good film. Don't get me wrong. My thoughts were mostly positive, but I don't see it as being a Best Picture of the year. If this is ever awarded Best Picture from anybody, I just don't see it. I see why aesthetically for the performances and a bunch of other stuff, but just no. Not this time, Clint Eastwood. I love you, but not for American Sniper. But which one should win from this category? Well, I'm going to cheat and say that 3 movies should win the Oscar. Either one of these could win, and I won't be upset at all. Those are Birdman, Boyhood, and Whiplash. Why? These are my 3 favorite movies of 2014. And I am just shocked that Whiplash got this many nominations, or that all 3 of these movies are nominated for Best Picture. And these are my favorites of last year once again. So I am very happy to see that. And any one of these could win, and I won't be upset. Birdman, just for everything that it has, is just amazing. Same with Boyhood. And Whiplash, just for, very motivational film. Probably one of the most motivational films I've seen of all time, in my opinion. But which one will the Academy choose? I'm going to go out on a tangent here and go with what everyone else has been saying for the past couple of months. But I will say that Boyhood will win the Oscar. I think the Academy is just going to award this film a bunch of awards that it does deserve, and Best Picture is the most deserving for Boyhood. It takes a lot to film a movie that many people have said is a gimmick for 12 years and not have it be very good. It is very good. I love this movie. This is actually, out of the 3 that I've seen last year that are nominated and are my favorite, Boyhood is actually my favorite of last year. It struck a bunch of chords with me. I mean, just how life is portrayed, family, and everything in between. It's just so beautifully captured in this film. So, that's what I think of this category. So, Birdman, Boyhood, and Whiplash should win the Oscar, but Boyhood will win the Oscar. Whew. And that is a bunch of categories all said and done. Thank you all, as always, for watching. Be sure to like this video, comment on what you think of this year's nominees and of the ceremony if you all get a chance to see it. I know I will tonight. Subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you on the next movie review.